Yeah.
So I have a few questions I wrote down that I really want to ask you.
Okay.
So, first one is, when you were injured, how did you cope mentally and emotionally?
Well, that's a great question. How did I cope with my injuries? And I think first is, for me, it's mental, right? So what do I do with that? When I was 15 years old, I was quarterback, and I was rolling out, and the kid hit me on my side, was dislocated my right shoulder. And that was my first major injury. So, and I was just starting to play basketball at the same time. So my stepfather at the time, he's like, listen, when you're playing sports, things happen. You're going to get injured. Now, what do you do from there? So I had to sit up with a brace like this for 3 months so it can kind of mold back together, I guess you would say. So while I was doing that, I was watching like a lot of basketball, a lot of football games, things like that. And I just, at that point in time, for me, I just thought to myself, I'm like, okay, what do I do? I can't sulk, right? I want to play again.
Yeah.
So what do I need to do to become better? So it was just like, once you heal from it and you can be able to do push-ups and dribbling and throwing, things like that, take your time. I think going and being around the game more, right, to kind of inspire me opposed to being by myself, right? I think that helped me a lot. And then when I got to college, I broke my arm. How about that one? Dislocated my hip. How about because that was the hip one was, that was life-changing to a point where I thought I was never going to play again. So I had some major injuries early on. And then in the pros, I didn't have any injuries, but I think a lot of the dislocated shoulder helped me prepare for the broken arm and the hip in college. And a lot of that was keeping myself around the game and feeling that energy, because I believe in energy, right? And I believe that if you surround yourself around those positive influences, or that, that positive influence, whether it's basketball or track or whatever it is that you're doing, I think what it does is it puts that positive energy in you to heal faster.
Got it.
Yeah. So for me, I would say just surround yourself around, basketball, looking at games, going to games, right? Finding a way to become better, whether it's, okay, if I messed up my Victor Oladipo, okay, he tore his quad. But what he was doing is he's sitting on the chair, he's dribbling, working on his handles. So it's different ways. He's sitting on the chair, shooting the ball, sitting on the chair. So it's certain different ways that you can be able to include yourself in the game until you get to that point where you're back on the court.
Got it.